Texas Roadhouse and the Capital Grille serve delectable steaks, with many of the same dishes appearing on both menus. So, where to eat? Let's dig in and find out how the two really compare. With one look at the menu at the Capital Grille, two things immediately stand out: the hefty prices and the upscale options. As many of you likely know, the Capital Grille is known for its more refined menu, with dishes like fresh oysters on the half-shell and tuna tartare with avocado, mango, and sriracha, not to mention its classic creme brulee for dessert. This isn't your ordinary steakhouse chain, setting it apart from Texas Roadhouse in a major way.
Stan, this place is so fancy.
But is the food really worth the higher prices? The Capital Grille offers only USDA-grade prime and certified Angus beef using a time-consuming process called dry aging to ensure the highest quality steaks. These are just two reasons why the Capital Grille steaks are so delicious. But if you ask some customers, the difference in quality isn't always as noticeable as the restaurant would have you believe. Nevertheless, the Capital Grille takes great care in how it selects its steaks and even more in cooking and preparing them. If it's within your budget, you won't be disappointed by the food, and the menu makes it more appealing for those with a somewhat more refined palate. While the Capital Grille aims squarely at the fancy folks, Texas Roadhouse goes in the other direction. Everything from the signage outside to the decor inside evokes a backyard cookout, and it has a menu to match. Ditching the tartare and creme brulee, Texas Roadhouse specializes in high-quality versions of the food you'd want at a neighborhood barbecue. That means simple steaks, baked potatoes, fries, burgers, and sandwiches. Yes, there's a limited seafood menu and a surprisingly wide variety of entree salads, but Texas Roadhouse is all about ribs and steak. The appetizers include carnival favorites like fried pickles and tater skins, which we ranked among the best in the industry, while the dessert menu features apple pie, strawberry cheesecake, and a brownie. While Texas Roadhouse's food may seem ordinary, the flavor is anything but average, and its choice to keep the menu simple works. Fresh oysters on the half-shell and tater skins are just the tip of the iceberg when looking at the appetizer options from these two steakhouse chains. In addition to those $22 oysters at the Capital Grille, you can get a jumbo lump crab cocktail for $27, or your choice of tuna or steak tartare at $22 and $20 respectively, though prices may vary based on location. Of course, at the high end, there's the cold shellfish platter, which serves up to 4 guests for $70, while the Grand Plateau serves 4 to 6 diners at a whopping $130. Smoked bacon with Korean barbecue, lobster and crab cakes, and prosciutto-wrapped mozzarella are also available. On the flip side, Texas Roadhouse slaps together a satisfying appetizer menu filled with starters like the cactus blossom, a massive fried onion for $7.99, and boneless buffalo wings for $9.99, while the Texas chili can be had for as little as $3.99 a cup. There are also fried pickles, tater skins, and cheese fries.
Our potatoes are as loaded as the folks at a Willie Nelson concert.
But coming in at $11.99 might be the best appetizer, at least if you're very hungry: the killer ribs. That's right, you can start your evening with a half rack of barbecued ribs and a handful of potato wedges. If the appetizers from these two chains weren't different enough, get a load of the sides that can be had at Texas Roadhouse versus the Capital Grille. Again, the difference is stark, with high prices at the Capital Grille with its menu of add-ons that are also far more exquisite, including Parmesan truffle fries, au gratin potatoes, roasted wild mushrooms, sautéed spinach, grilled asparagus with lemon mosto, and creamed corn with bacon, all priced between $12 and $15. At the highest end are the skillet hash browns with Royal Osetra caviar, a dish that will set you back a wallet-thinning $70. As for Texas Roadhouse, the sides couldn't be any more different. Hungry diners can get corn, mashed potatoes, a baked potato, fries, a bowl of chili, mac and cheese, seasoned rice, broccoli, or green beans, each priced between $2.99 and $4.99. But while the food is much more plain, the prices reflect the difference and then some. The menus for the Capital Grille and Texas Roadhouse have loads of differences, but the most noticeable distinction might be the restaurant's overall atmospheres. Everything from the furnishings and the lighting to the attire of the waitstaff sets the tone for any meal, and the Capital Grille goes for a classy dining experience to match its upscale menu. Inside, depending on the location, you might even be fooled into thinking you've stepped into a 5-star restaurant in New York City. The hosts and waitstaff are dressed to the nines, while the furniture and decor scream luxury. It makes for a regal evening, and while it may not be for everyone, the attention to detail certainly helps justify the restaurant's higher prices. By comparison, Texas Roadhouse might as well be a rest stop, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're in a Texas Roadhouse, you're likely there for more down-home steaks and burgers, and so the wood and steel used on the walls and bar, along with the eclectic decor, provide just the kind of atmosphere you're probably looking for. In short, each restaurant has a decidedly different goal, yet both achieve them with aplomb. If you need any more proof of just how different the vibe is between the Capital Grille and Texas Roadhouse, it's this. Texas Roadhouse has a souvenir shop. Okay, it doesn't actually have a walk-in store like the one you typically find in a Bubba Gump or Joe's Crab Shack, but with an online merch store, we see with crystal clarity just what kind of clientele the chain is chasing. In the online gift shop, Texas Roadhouse fans can pick up t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, as well as magnets, stickers, and keychains. For the kitchen, it stocks pint glasses, coffee mugs, and tumblers, and of course, everyone wants Texas Roadhouse scented candles and wax melts. Currently, there's a limited edition set of 3 plushies, including one shaped like a basket of bread rolls. That's not all, though. In addition to kitschy souvenirs, Texas Roadhouse also sells full cuts of steak that can be mailed right to your door from what it dubs the Texas Roadhouse Butcher Shop. In its online store, Texas Roadhouse allows you to purchase steaks that are sent directly to your doorstep. But this steak-by-mail program isn't exclusive to Texas Roadhouse. The Capital Grille offers a similar service called the Capital Butcher. As with its in-restaurant offerings, the Capital Butcher's signature steaks are dry-aged and hand-cut by the restaurant's private butchers. You can order individual steaks or a box of 4. Though the restaurant's full menu isn't available, it does offer bone-in New York strip, bone-in prime ribeye, filet mignon, and even burgers. There's also a selection of accompaniments, such as mashed potatoes, creamed spinach, grilled asparagus, and lobster mac and cheese. Prices for the Capital Grille's steak-on-demand options range from $27 to $45 per steak, with other options like the lobster mac and cheese being a little pricier. The Texas Roadhouse Butcher Shop is, like the restaurant, a bit simpler, but its menu of steaks is more varied. It includes filet mignon, regular and bone-in ribeye, filet medallions, and filet tips. Steak options can be had in different sizes, depending on the cut, and range from $89 for 4 packs of filet medallions to $169 for a 4-pack of 20-ounce bone-in ribeyes. At this point, you probably won't be surprised to learn which chain, Texas Roadhouse or the Capital Grille, is a better choice for families, particularly when it comes to those with young children. A night out at a fine dining establishment can be a challenge, both in terms of finding food the little tygs will eat and an atmosphere where they won't feel out of place. That choice is obviously Texas Roadhouse. But it's not just the simpler food options and more upbeat, lively atmosphere. Texas Roadhouse offers a full kids menu. Got fussy ones? No problem. They offer simple sliders, a hot dog and fries, chicken tenders, mac and cheese, grilled chicken with a side of corn, and the signature Lil Dillo steak bites. All can be had for $8.99 or less. There's more though, because it also has 3 Ranger meal options for kids. These are mini versions of the steakhouse's best meals: Andy's Steak, a small hand-cut sirloin, and the Ranger Rib Basket, both for $10.99, and the Chicken Critters Basket, which comes in at $11.99. Suffice to say, if you're bringing the kids, Texas Roadhouse is hands down the better choice. If Texas Roadhouse is the better restaurant for kids, what about the other end of the spectrum? We're talking about adults over the age of 21 who want to enjoy an alcoholic beverage. While Texas Roadhouse makes its establishment welcoming for families and children, it also has a drinks menu with beer, wine, and cocktails. Nevertheless, this is one area where simpler isn't necessarily better. For example, the Texas Roadhouse beer list is relatively short, with selections like Corona, Heineken, Budweiser, and a few other common, if unremarkable, selections. It has a handful of standard cocktails, plus a long list of fruit-flavored margaritas.
I hope to see you at a Texas Roadhouse soon to have a Kenny's Cooler or a Coastal Key Lime Margarita or whatever you want.
The Capital Grille drinks menu is where the restaurant shines, however. In addition to an extensive wine list that Texas Roadhouse can't even hope to match, it also offers higher shelf cocktails like a blackberry bourbon sidecar, passion fruit mojito, and yuzu highball, among others, all typically made with finer brands of booze than you'd find at Texas Roadhouse. Once again, you'll be shelling out a bit more for these drinks, but if you're really looking for a good cocktail, the Capital Grille is clearly the better choice. You can listen to food critics when looking to decide between Texas Roadhouse and the Capital Grille, but let's not discount reviews from ordinary diners who've shared their own opinions on both chains. There are even plenty of folks who've directly compared the two. Not too long ago, a user on Reddit posted about being impressed by the quality of food at Texas Roadhouse relative to the price, writing, like, kind of blown away. Most commenters seemed to agree that the chain's prime rib was to die for, and that Texas Roadhouse more broadly was underrated and judged perhaps a bit too harshly because of its lower prices and simple menu. But how about a direct comparison with the Capital Grille? A different Reddit user claimed, most fancy steakhouses aren't any better than Texas Roadhouse. Yet one commenter disagreed, saying they are not the same at all, writing, Texas Roadhouse is as good as any middle-rung chain steakhouse. When you get a properly cooked steak at either a local high-quality steakhouse or high-end national chains such as Palms, Ruth's Chris, or Capital Grille, sorry, it does not compare. So now we come down to the big question, which is the better steakhouse? The reality is that each chain offers up something so unique in relation to the other that the choice comes down to you. If you're going with a family for a fun, lively night out, particularly if you have kids, then Texas Roadhouse is the easy call. Its kids menu, simpler fare, and more relaxed atmosphere make it perfect for those seeking a meal to unwind with friends or family.
Let's keep it classy, classy.
If you're on a date or just looking for a classier experience, then the Capital Grille's menu and focus on luxury dining makes it more than worth the heftier price of admission. At the end of the day, based solely on food, this is really not much of a contest. The Capital Grille offers higher quality ingredients and more premium preparation methods, not to mention a more varied menu, leaving Texas Roadhouse's simple steaks and burgers looking ordinary by comparison.